Yeah, let me walk you through this. It's about 10:45 or so on Friday morning. I was in the middle of prepping the show for Monday, and I saw an item from the Daily Mail that caught my attention that said Pauly Shore reveals he said his goodbyes to comedy legend Louie Anderson. Now, the last report I had seen on Louie was that he was in the hospital doing okay, but Pauly Shore was on Twitter Thursday afternoon revealing he had just left the hospital in Las Vegas where Anderson was surrounded by his family. Pauly tweeted, "Attention comedians and Comedy Store alumni. I say this with a heavy heart. Just left the hospital in Las Vegas where Louie Anderson, his sisters and close friend, were kind enough to let me say my goodbyes. He's still with us, but keep him in your prayers." So I shared that on the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast. And then like a minute later, I saw Louie Anderson has passed away. The obituary from the Hollywood Reporter, Louie Anderson, iconic stand-up comic and Baskets star, dies at 68. The Emmy-winning actor and author also created Life with Louie and appeared in both Coming to America films, also hosted Family Feud. Louie Anderson died Friday morning of complications from cancer, according to his longtime publicist Glenn Schwartz. Anderson was being treated in a Las Vegas hospital after being diagnosed with a type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Mentored by legendary stand-up Henny Youngman. I did not know that. Comedy Central had named Louie Anderson one of the 100 greatest stand-ups of all time. He also created Life with Louie, a Saturday morning animated series in which he played a version of his 8-year-old self. He hosted Family Feud. Baskets was created by Louis C.K., Zach Galifianakis, and some others. Starred Galifianakis as Chip and Dale Baskets, one a struggling circus clown, the other his obnoxious identical twin. Anderson played their mother. Louie immediately related to the character. He said it was just like his own mother. He told the LA Times in 2017, "I'm pretty sure my mom orchestrated it from the great beyond. I mean, how would that come up otherwise? She could have been a star herself, so she's finally getting a chance to act." Louie Perry Anderson was born on March 24th, 1953 in St. Paul, Minnesota. The second youngest of 11 children, 6 boys, 5 sisters. He grew up in a housing project and blamed his father, also named Louis, for the family's woes and praised his mother for filling the household with love and hope. When attending a comedy show at Mickey Finn's in Minneapolis in 1978, Louie noted the lack of laughs, thought he'd take a shot at it. He said, "I signed up next week. My mom and dad came down, my family came down, my coworkers, and I did 3 minutes, and I felt like I did good. 2 early jokes. 1, let me move the microphone so you can see me. 2, I was the first kid on the block voted most likely to become a group." In 1981, he took first place in the Midwest Comedy Competition. That competition, hosted by Henny Youngman, who hired him as a writer, helped him as a performer. Louie told the San Diego Union Tribune in 2019, "Henny Youngman's work ethic had the biggest influence on me. He said, just do your jokes, but I was more of a person that wanted to tell stories. I didn't want to just present jokes, but I did have a bunch of one-liners when I started my act each time. I got that from him and his work ethic." In 1996, he had a CBS sitcom called The Louie Show. I don't remember that one. He played a Minnesota psychotherapist alongside Bryan Cranston and Paul Feig. You want a second chance at that sitcom with that cast? Wow, but it only lasted 6 episodes. As for his own comedy, he said, "I like to laugh with my audience. I try to say, hey, aren't we all pathetic? I just put myself out there as the main pathetic person. I can't stop eating, but I have to because I've already eaten everything. I'm laying it out there." That's the Richard Pryor effect. If you're honest enough about it, it's really rewarding. It is healing. I feel very good out there on stage. So this news is just in. I think what I will do is I will bump tomorrow's scheduled David Letterman episode and see what the other comedians are saying about Louie Anderson and make that the Saturday episode. So Sunday, I don't know what I'm going to do, and Monday will be normal. I'll figure all that out. If you want to know what I wind up doing, follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.